Hi, I'm Danielle. Welcome to my perfume journal. This is the October edition of Perfume Collecting for Regular People, the series where I talk about the ins and outs of my collection each month, including my spending down to the penny. I have been a perfume enthusiast and collector for over 40 years. This is a very expensive hobby, and so I have to keep this interest of mine on a budget. And in this series, this is where I talk about how I do just that. So first, let's talk about what I decluttered in October. I have been doing a pretty decent job of moving things along in my collection and other things in my home in general that I don't reach for anymore, that I don't use, as a way of not only keeping my hobby manageable and like trying to recycle the funds that I've already spent into new purchases, but also to like purge things out of my house that I don't need anymore. So this month I decluttered on the perfume end my bottle of pink vetiver from Joe Loves. I talked about this perfume recently in a video all about my favorite spicy perfumes, and although I do really love this perfume, I realized making that video that I wasn't really reaching for it anymore. It used to be my going out perfume years ago when I used to actually go out anywhere. It is peppery and spicy with cumin and nutmeg and cardamom and ginger with a nice bite of juniper. And then there's a dry woody vetiver as the main woody note in the base. I really liked wearing this one out because it was a perfume, a scent that was like different from all of the other fragrances in the air. And I liked that about this perfume. But as my life has become much less exciting, I thought I would move this one along. So off it went. Okay, so now for the new additions to my perfume cabinet. So first up is a perfume that I heard the amazing Wendi talking about on her channel, Wendy's Parade of Perfumes. And as she was talking about it and describing it, I knew that I would love it. Wendi and I have very similar tastes. Her collection is to me like a dream come true. And so I just went for this one. This is Luminous from La Perla, and my hunch was completely right. I adore this perfume. Luminous is a really simple note profile. It's ambrette, jasmine, and cedar. And it is exactly as Wendi described it, just like one of those nice, clean white shirt kind of scents. It has like a nice citrusy sweetness in it too, not too much sweetness, just enough. And so everything about it feels kind of like softly floral and woody and easy breezy. This just smells so nice and clean and fresh, but it doesn't smell like generic or boring. I noticed on Parfumo that it was compared to Blanche Bête, but I don't think that they smell anything alike. This is not like milky or lactonic at all. And Blanche Bête on me goes really, really sour, very similar to like This Is Her from Zadig and Voltaire, or Christian Siriano's Intimate Silhouette, or Commodities Milk. Those perfumes that are kind of like milky lactonic in that way really don't work on me. So I don't think that this can be compared to Blanche Bête. I also saw, though, that Luminous was in the category of people who like this might also like this. And they had Dama Bianca, Montblanc Signature, and Coco Noir listed. Now, I don't think that those are scent comparisons in the sense of like smells like this perfume, but I would agree that these perfumes all fit into a kind of theme of like classic sophistication that is also easy wearing. So I think all four of those perfumes, Luminous, Dama Bianca, Montblanc Signature, and Coco Noir, would definitely fit into that category. I love that genre of perfume. So thank you, Wendi, for introducing me to Luminous. It has become a fast favorite. In that same order, I also purchased Ardenbeauty from Elizabeth Arden in this little 30 ml size, which you know I love for three reasons. One, affordable. I always love blind buying little affordable 30 mls to see if I discover a new jewel of a scent. Two, notes looked interesting. Green notes, rice blossom, blue lotus, ginger, gold orchid, which must be some kind of fantasy note, and sandalwood. All of that really piqued my interest. And then three, the perfumer is Antoine Lee, whose work I love. And one of my favorite things is to find affordable perfumes by master perfumers who often create some of the most amazing scents for luxury brands or fine fragrance houses. They also create some of the most interesting stuff for independent perfume houses who seek them out to bring like a very specific vision to life. Antoine Lee has done this for brands like Eris and Les Abstraits. And side note, one of my very, very favorite Instagram pages is Thomas Dunkley's Making Sense Makes Sense. He also has a podcast that is wonderful that I've talked about here before. But on his Instagram, he has a series of if you like this, you should try this, where he shows a very expensive perfume and then another perfume by the same perfumer that is under like $30 or 30 pounds. It is a fantastic series. I love the way he highlights how many incredible perfumes there are out there made by some of the greatest perfumers of all time that can be picked up for less than the cost of buying a latte every day for 1 week. Okay, so Ardenbeauty. Ardenbeauty is just okay. I love the gingeriness of it. It has some interesting, unusual kind of floral qualities from those fantasy notes of blue, lotus, and gold orchid. The florals are bright. They're a little tiny bit spicy, I'd say. And then there's a definite greenness to this perfume that I like. But I think the reason I'm classifying this as a just okay perfume is that it smells just a little bit too shampooy to me to be more interesting than the note list would convey. I was expecting a little bit more from this based on the notes, but it is still lovely and wearable and fresh and green and a little bit spicy, and I will definitely enjoy this little 30 ml bottle of it, and I'm glad that I have it. I also picked up a 30 ml of one of my favorite longtime loves, Oscar from Oscar de la Renta in the EDT concentration. This is the current formulation of it. I'm not looking to play the perfume lottery trying to find an intact vintage of this, as this perfume is mostly florals, and I think I would be a lot more likely to find a bottle of this that has gone off than an intact bottle. So for me, the current formulation is just fine. And to me, it also still smells really, really wonderful. This is a powdery floral bouquet with all of the vintage touches you would expect. It has some nice, interesting aromatics like rosemary and coriander and lavender. And then it has that very vintagey smelling base that borders on chypre, even though this does not contain any oak moss to my knowledge, or like nowadays what they would be using is Vera moss or some other synthetic oak moss, since oak moss has essentially been incredibly restricted, or I think at this point it might even be banned in perfumery. So like I said, even though it doesn't actually contain any oak moss to my knowledge, it does have that strong, like back in the day kind of quality to it that perfumes of this era have. So I don't get on very well with Parfums de Marly perfumes, but there is one in their line that I sampled a while ago, and it very much reminded me of like a modernized version of Oscar, and it was Athalia or Italia, not sure of the pronunciation. It's the one that comes in the black bottle. And if anyone else has smelled that perfume and also knows Oscar from Oscar de la Renta, please let me know if you think they're similar. I would be curious to know if that is just my nose. But anyway, I'm super happy to have Oscar back in my collection, this beautiful vintagey powdery floral. I also added 4 5 ml travel sizes of Rihanna's Rebelle to my cart. Every once in a while, I see these travel sizes pop up on discounters for $5. So I grab them whenever I can because this perfume has been discontinued. And I am a-okay with just trying to keep like a little stash of travels around of this perfume to enjoy. And in addition to these 4 travels, I also got a Rebelle shower gel for $3. So Rebelle is one of my favorite celebrity perfumes. It is gorgeous. I recently talked about this one in a video about chocolate perfumes. This is deep and rich and spicy. It's a fruity floral with plum, strawberries, ginger, cocoa, coffee, heliotrope, vanilla, and patchouli. All of those notes, literally every single one of them, are totally detectable in this perfume, and they come together to create this absolutely delicious Flormand. It's very sultry and very warm and very, very addictive. It is also really, really strong. So these little 5 ml travelers will last me plenty long, as I only need like a spray or two of this to last literally all day. This perfume is gorgeous, and I'm really, really glad to have more of it. And then I added some new things to my collection thanks to the generosity of wonderful friends. Stacy sent me a bottle of Anna Sui that she wasn't reaching for anymore. She knew that I loved lipsticky scents and doll head scents, and this perfume is the perfect combination of both of those things with some added fruitiness. It is a raspberry, apricot, rose, iris, jasmine, tonka, and a little tiny bit of woodiness. And just like the bottle suggests, it is super fun and whimsical and playful, and it smells great. And it's exactly what I want to reach for some days when I either don't want to be super serious or I have something serious going on and I want a perfume that's going to counteract that. And along with this little bottle, Stacy sent me some samples, and so did Yvette. She sent me a whole treasure trove of samples. And so, thanks to both of them, I feel like I'm set with samples for maybe like the next year. Perfume friends are so great. I'm so grateful for them. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Yvette, for being so awesome to me. I really appreciate you both. So then at this point, I thought I was totally done for the month, but then I discovered this little perfume oil on sale for $10. This is Coquette Tropique from Monyette. So I first heard about this brand on Instagram. Someone posted about their original perfume, which is just called Monyette. It is gardenia, lily of the valley, and vanilla. It sounded absolutely gorgeous. I still haven't tried it though, because I thought it was a little bit pricey for the perfume oil. It came in at like $45 or $50. So I just never took the plunge on this little teeny perfume oil. But when I saw this one, Coquette Tropique, for $10, I was like, heck yeah. And I also got 2 free samples with my order. So that was super bonus. So Coquette Tropique is a citrus top with frangipani, hibiscus, pear, gardenia, and vanilla, and it smells amazing. It is pretty sweet. Initially, it smells to me like a banana tropical fruit bubble gum. It just smells so good, so tropical, so happy. It smells like pink and green and preppy, like a Lily Pulitzer print in perfume form. I definitely want to wear this one to bed in wintertime when I need a lift from those cold, long days. I am so, so happy with this little blind buy, especially for the price. $10 can't be beat. Okay, so before I wrap this up, I'm giving the heads up that I will probably go over my budget in November because, according to the Vivienne Westwood press release on the re-release of Boudoir, it is supposed to be distributed widely for sale in November. So if it ends up on the Vivienne Westwood websites for purchase, you can be sure that this will be my November order. And thanks to the wonderful Dacob, I learned that the price point for the re-release of Boudoir was 120 euros for the 50 ml. I don't know if it's coming out in any other sizes, but I will pay this amount for this volume of perfume because even in the re-released version that I have never smelled, this is one of my unicorns. I have a teeny sample left of the original Boudoir that I absolutely savor. I treat myself to a drop or two from time to time, but now I can have an actual bottle without having to spend upwards of $500. And by all accounts I've seen from noses I trust who know the original Boudoir, the re-release is a respectable version, so I am excited about it. If you want to hear more about the original Boudoir, which was Vivienne Westwood's own signature scent, you must watch Dacob's videos about it. He has several. He completely nails the essence of this amazing perfume in a way that I never ever could. And despite my enthusiasm here, I am definitely not advocating blind buying this perfume at all. This is a fragrance that must be sampled first because it is not going to be for everyone. But for the boudoir lovers out there, please tell me, are you excited about this release? Are you skeptical about it? Have you tried it? If you are in one of the cities where it has been in limited release, tell me everything you know. Tell me everything you know about Boudoir. Because to me, this re-release is like the Perfume version of the Oasis reunion. We never ever thought it would happen, and yet here we are. So more of this Perfume brands, please, please, please give us back our unicorns. So, all in all, I added 4 bottles, 4 travel sizes, 1 perfume oil, and 33 samples to my collection this month, and I decluttered 1 full bottle. So, let's get down to the dollars and cents of it all. So, my fun money budget for anything that is not a necessity is $100 to $150 a month. And as always, I recognize what a significant privilege it is to have any fun money to spend at all. That is not the case for everyone. It was not always the case for me either. So it's never something that I take for granted, no matter how hard I've worked for it. I know it's still a privilege to have extra money every month. So my first purchase of the month came to $142.27 for the Luminous, the 4 travel sizes of Rebelle, the Ardenbeauty, the Oscar, and the shower gel. Then I spent $4.99 in postage, sending a package off to a friend, and an additional $19.58 for the perfume oil and the 2 free samples. I had to pay shipping on that order. So all in all, I spent a total of $166.84 this month. Still a little bit over my budget, but not a lot. I did bring in $163.27 this month, so that almost balanced out my spending, which in perfume math means I only really spent a total of $3.57 this month of quote, new money. That is my logic, and I'm sticking with that. So this was an awesome month. I'm really, really happy with my new perfumes and all of the awesome samples that I received. So there we have it, the ins, the outs, the dollars and cents of my perfume collecting for the month of October. I love doing this series for my own accountability, but also because I really, really hope that it shows other people that you can be a devoted perfume enthusiast without spending a fortune every month or going into debt. I love this hobby. I love perfume. I love chatting with all of you about it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a really great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.